All right, just a couple of minutes ago, I was watching 1000 Go Ahead's channel, and I was kind of like infuriated by some of the commentary that I saw going on below in the comment section there. Now, for all of you out there who don't know, 1000 Go Ahead is a YouTuber who basically promotes the idea that African Americans, so-called that is or whatever, right, are not descended from Africans, that we are actually descended from right over here. That, you know, it's been fucking proven. As a matter of fact, through my own, anyways, it's been proven that we come from right over here because they found a ship years ago, eons ago and stuff, whatever, derived from West Africa that floated onto the shores of North America way before Columbus arrived. And there was a great book, out too. It's called Before Columbus something. I forgot exactly what the name of the book is, but you got to look it up. They were there before Columbus. That was the precise exact name of the book, whatever. But basically, I noticed that there's certain features in my own phenotype that basically corresponds to the fact that I am indeed not, by people that, that I am indeed not from no fucking Africa, that we're from here. For instance, if you think about the stereotypical phenotype perceptions of how Native Americans look, I mean, think about it like this. Even Columbus called the Native Americans Indians. I mean, when you think about the so-called Caucasoid / Asiatic people who we know today to be the Native Americans, they don't look a goddamn fucking thing like the Indians of East India. We look more akin to them. Like, for instance, look at here. The dark circles under my eyes. That's natural. I've had that for life. My grandmother had that. Well, anyways. On top of that, look at the dark pigmentation, around my mouth, which is something that kind of used to disturb me as a little kid, but now I have a great deal of pride in it because it shows character. A lot of real black Americans have that. Also, look at the phenotypical, look at the high cheekbones as well. Now, when you look at a West African, for instance, they have protruding cheekbones. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you, or you can go ahead and look up images of West Africans if you like, but if you notice them and notice the disparity between us and them, meaning as black Americans versus them, we look not a goddamn fucking thing like these people. And here's the point I'm trying to make and bring home to you. We don't come from no motherfucking West Africa. Now, before a fucking jackass comes on here and say something to the effect of whatever, well, you look like you from fucking Eastern Africa, like Northeastern Africa, like Ethiopia. Bitch, we ain't from no fucking, we weren't saying to be from no, bitch, we ain't from no fucking East Africa. We weren't saying to be from no fucking East Africa, you dumb bitch. They say that we're not from no motherfucking Ethiopia, Somalia, so let's keep it straight here. Let's keep it 100. They're claiming we're from some motherfucking West Africa. That's where they're claiming we're fucking from. And I'm going to show you the fucking phenotypes that fucking disproves that theory, as well as along with the fact that my own fucking DNA test, along with the fucking DNA test of thousands of black Americans, disproves that fucking theory that we were somehow summoned over here on fucking slave ships and stuff, whatever. As a matter of fact, I'm going to present to you right now as I fucking talk. The fact that we come from right here is presented by my own fucking DNA test. Here, look at it right here, bitch. Anyways, look at that DNA test. Notice that it says 30% European, and I think they inflated that shit, by the way, just to cover the tracks. The rest is 14% sub-Saharan African. The rest is unidentified under, high confidence mode. In other words, conservative mode, which is about 90%. Now, how the fuck is it that so much of my DNA is unaccounted for? And I noticed that a lot of black Americans who, again, have those stereotypical, phenotypical features of the so-called Native Americans, the high cheekbones, whereas, West Africans got the, the mouth like this and all of that, and the dark circles. A lot of them are missing a huge amount of money. A huge amount of fucking DNA testing. As a matter of fact, a huge amount of DNA extracted, testing and stuff. As a matter of fact, there was a black guy who, nice looking man too, and he was accounted for on my DNA test. He was confirmed to be one of my relatives or shit or whatever. I don't know how true that is, but I noticed that on conservative mode, he was missing about 80% of his DNA. When I looked at him, he had the straight up straight up fucking stereotypical features of a Native American, like what they claim the Asiatic Caucasian ones have, like for instance high cheekbones and stuff. Now, don't say that it's because, oh, we intermix with them. They've already, the white man that is, already done fucking climbed and weasel his way into that and saying, oh, that's a myth, that's not true. We are the fucking Native Americans. The black people of this land, black Americans are the Native Americans. We ain't from no fucking Africa. As a matter of fact, when you think about it, just look at it from a logical standpoint here. It took 4 to 5 months to fucking ferry people, chauffeur them back and fucking forth between here and fucking Africa and so forth, and travel them over here and stuff. They had to put butt plugs in their asses. How the fuck, I mean, what magical fucking Negro out there is gonna fucking survive and sustain off of that? Like, no way in fucking hell. There's going to be some motherfucking, I mean, there's got to be, there is going to be some fucking complications. Something's going to go wrong. There's no way in hell. On top of that, look at our features. Africans got them big ass fucking protruding. I mean, the women are, you know, well, I'm not going to say too much, but when you look at them, they have very strong features. There's some big motherfuckers. You look at National Geographic and stuff and see them in their natural indigenous and habitat. And they walking around, and women look like they can bench press fucking 3, 4, 5 European guys all at once. They're some big bitches. Black women, we over here, the indigenous black Americans, that is, we ain't built like them. Nowhere fucking near. I'm a little bitty small motherfucker. That's indicative of the Asiatic presence of, in other words, the first migrational wave out of Africa, which we were a part of, hence why we look the way we do. I mean, look at the eyes, again, kind of Asiatic. Now, before you go ahead and say, well, you got Africans with those eyes, bitch, they're all the way in the fucking Kalahari Desert. They're all the way down in fucking South Africa. That's got nothing to do with us or where they claim we come from. We're sticking it to fucking West Africa. Let's stick this shit straight to fucking West Africa. Let's not get this fucking shit confused. And also don't go on that fucking tirade as well about, well, you mix with slave masters. Let me tell you something, motherfucker. It cost a lot of fucking money to get motherfuckers off those goddamn slave ships. So with that fucking say, that at the end of the day, listen, as a prostitute, I've been with many fucking guys who are fucking 50. I think the oldest was fucking 80. He was about to damn near croaking, about to fucking die. And I didn't want to have to deal with no fucking heart attack while I was on there on the fucking job, of course. Doing something illegal I ain't got no business doing. Anyways, I've been with a lot of old ass white men. Let me tell you something. They don't fucking get it up past the age of fucking 50. And the only way they do is through some motherfucking Viagra. So you tell me. Don't tell me that shit about, oh, they're the slave masters and if they had young. I'm sorry, but I don't think that much fucking was going on. Black women, I don't think are that fucking desirable as y'all like to make yourselves out to be in the eyes of the fucking world. I'm not knocking you all. I'm not stereotyping. I'm not, you know, saying, oh, y'all blah, 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 blah. I'm just saying y'all aren't as fucking desired by the world as y'all make yourselves out to be, even though rape doesn't have anything to do with that shit or whatever. I don't think, I mean, even if so, if that was the case, I mean, motherfuckers with that, I mean, look at Cape Verde, for instance. Those are really racially mixed people. We look nothing like that. Even when we get mixed up with white people, our features are, I can't put my finger on it, but we're very different. Now, for all of you out there who don't know, Cape Verde is a little island off of there in Africa. It's off the coast of, I forgot exactly what it was, but it's off the coast of West Africa, if I'm not mistaken. Not, you know, these other, but it's off the coast of Senegal, I think. And it was a major slave port, blah, 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 and they did all that. Now, you look at them motherfuckers there. Now, that's mixed. We don't look anything like that. A lot of our features, when you look at us in person, when you look at us in the face of it all, for instance, in New Orleans, they had girls who I went to school with who looked like they could pass for straight up Polynesian. There wasn't no fucking mixed race shit. They had motherfuckers who looked like they could pass for, I mean, fucking, I mean, me, myself, for instance, you know, if my fucking hair straightened, I look like, I've been told I look like a white chick in the face, and a lot of Indians of East India have very Caucasoid features. Now, on the other hand, them ugly motherfuckers, them Somalians, they look like fucking space aliens. I'm sorry, but it just is what it is. They look like fucking space. They're a funny looking ass group of people. The Ethiopians and Somalians. Stop. But getting back to it, going back to it, we don't come from no fucking West Africa. That shit's preposterous. See, white people threw that shit. And this is why I want no fucking cracker beats coming on here saying, well, yeah, you come from it, you should take pride. No, motherfucker, I'm not gonna take pride in being the descendant of fucking slaves who you made slaves on our own fucking soil and then took and denied our heritage and history by claiming we come from some fucking white West Africa, so you can further deny our fucking heritage, hide that shit for a fact, and then turn around and refuse us to give the fucking benefits that you owe us. Not only in conjunction with that, with fucking slavery and stuff, whatever, right? With the whole reparations and stuff for that, but also you took the fucking land right from under us, and you still fucking owe that to us to this day. But you're gonna deny to say, oh no, you're gonna attribute that to the Caucasoid, Asiatic so-called Indians who were fucking mixed race. However, by the way, by at the hands of Chinese and, they came down here and had sex with some of the local people up north. That's what became the Indians, and that's why they claim, they... But to make a long story short, now, according to 23andMe, which is where I got the DNA testing done at, right? They're saying that, get this, they're not able to link the shit, they're not able to link back a lot of Native American blood. Why is that? It's because they're hiding the fact that the true Native Americans, one of the true populations in this area, were black. It was us. We were here. We were here before Columbus, before all of that shit. We were here. We had lands, we had empires and shit that the white man, through rewriting history and stuff, whatever, is keeping hidden from us. And I'm sorry if I sound a little, but when it comes down to stuff like this, there's so much information I have in my mind. There's so much I need to relay. I just, spell it out the way I do. And it's kind of hard to, but anyways, to make a long story short, we ain't from no fucking West Africa. That's a major lie. Again, you look at the differences, the physiological, the physical, the phenotypical differences between us and them. No way in fucking hell. And I don't believe this story of, oh yeah, white slave man. Again, most men who could afford slaves were fucking old ass men, like fucking 50s and 60s. No, they were like in their 50s and 60s. How the fuck could they get it up? I'm sorry. And especially long enough to be able to stick it in the young girl and have a baby with them. I'm sorry. It's just fucking, as a prostitute, as a hooker, as a hoe who knows all about this, who knows about the inner workings of the fucking dick and shit or whatever. There's no fucking way in hell a motherfucker back then could keep that shit going busy and stuff. No way in motherfucking hell. You can't tell me that shit. If you think nah, bitch, So, try to see some other stuff I could, hit on this as well. If I have all bases. Let's see. Again, this is our home. And again, going back to the whole, before I diverted too much off of this, see, as part of the first migrational wave out of Africa, that's where a lot of the Asiatic features develop. That's, the people who you see on the Polynesian, Melanesian, Micronesian, Aboriginal Isles, otherwise known as Australia. That's why we look the way we do. For instance, that fucking ignorant ass nigga who fucking went and raped that fucking woman and went to prison for sexual assault. Mystical, his eyes are very similar to mine. We ain't related. He from New Orleans too. Each indigenous groups of blacks, we, like for instance, we look different. Like for instance, if you look closely at that gal, the one who was complaining about saying, Sergeant Parker's racist. Sergeant Parker's racist, Danielle Watts. Look at her features. She looks more Polynesian. She don't look like, I don't think that shit comes from, for people, white people. If it was just strictly whites and blacks, no way in hell would she have those Asiatic-like phenotypes going on. That's part of the first migrational wave out of Africa. And guess what? White people were part of the second. That's why when you look at white people and you really analyze black people's skulls very closely, meaning blacks from Africa, they look very similar and alike, a lot like each other. They even know, too, that when they look at us, our builds are much smaller, just like Asians, stereotypically speaking, are considered to be. We're not, as fucking... our features aren't as strong, like, you look at fucking Africans and their cheeks be, the way they look totally different from us. As a matter of fact, on one fucking website, they had a thing where they were calling us, they were saying you could tell the difference between a black American, calling us Akatas, by the way, which is, why the fuck would I want to be associated with you bamboo shoot looking ass, ugly ass looking niggas? Anyways, they, noted and stated that the way you can tell the difference between black Americans versus them is the eyes. Now, if we were so fucking varied, if it wasn't about, they were mixing with whites and they're purely black, then why the fuck is it they could tell the difference between us and them based on our eyes? I mean, if we were mixed with them, our eyes wouldn't be too far from them. Now, would it be? That's a major myth. This whole rape thing, these motherfuckers went around, and I never believed that shit for the fucking life of me. To me, it was always bullshit. And I'm willing to bet you, I wish that somebody would do a fucking, something, because this needs to get out. This really, really needs to get out. I don't like being thought of as the fucking descendant of, I know my people were made slaves on this land, but I don't like being lied to about my fucking history. That's something that fucking bothers me. And especially being lied about and told I'm fucking related to a bunch of, you know, who don't even think much. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, Africans don't like us. We need to just, as black Americans, stick amongst each other. Fuck this whole pan-African shit. Be pan-globalist and realize we have our own culture going on over here. We need to build ourselves up. Not let these fucking Africans ride on our coattails, and stop letting the white man come into our fucking community and tell us what the fuck our history is. That's another slave mentality and slave thought that a lot of blacks have. And I noticed that the blacks who were cursing this poor person out on their channel here are usually, like, typically speaking, these slave masterminded type blacks who feel like anything that tries to assert some type of distance between them and Africa, is showing signs of, uppityness, like, oh, there's, crabs in the barrel, like mentality, like, oh, you think you're better than me because you're trying to distance yourself from Africa and I'm stuck. It's like they feel like it's a fucking job, like it's an obligation, like I have to be stuck to Africa due to some inferiority complex that a lot of them got going on. They say, oh, well, I gotta, stick with the African. I gotta, instead of looking at the truth of history, and instead it's just like these fucking idiots out here who are down with that whole one drop notion, that one drop rule. The minute you got any sort of black in you, it's like a crab in the barrel mentality, where they really deep down inside see the white man as being the hierarchy, the hierarchy or whatever of supremacy of where they're supposed to fucking get in life, of supremacist feelings of where the fuck they feel like they should be in life. And so therefore they see the white man as the coalescence of what every person needs to achieve. They still worship and aspire to be the white man in a sort of way or two. And so it's like, but it's like at the same time, it's like they want to claim black pride, not because they're really proud, but because of an inferiority complex. They feel like they have no choice. So they're like, well, anything that tries to distance itself from Africa, how dare you? Because they see the white man as being close to godliness, and they see any attempt to try to get to godliness as being uppity and looking down on the next Negro. It's some type of mind fucking shit that they got going on with themselves. It's like, they see it as, oh, you're, so it's like they're trying to fucking pull you back and bring you back to the fucking ignorance that the fucking slave master had injected into your fucking brain and into your womb and your heart, since the fucking days of slavery, getting you to think that, well, you're from Africa and you came here on chains and you blah 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 blah, when we already had great civilizations occurring here already, and they want you to fucking deny that for yourselves. And there's no other group of people who are doing a better fucking job of denying their heritage and their past more than fucking black Americans are doing for whites, as well as these fucking Africans overseas who want to take advantage of your history and legacy while at the same time calling you katas as well. Just want to let you know. Anyways, peace out. And here's the video portrayal or pictures or whatever that I want to throw up here of indigenous, black folks, and how we look nothing like fucking West Africans. And I'm going to show you pictures of Cape Verdeans as well, who are people who are descended from Africa, by the way, who are fucking mixed with white. We look nothing like these people. Nothing alike whatsoever. I'm done. Here's our history. Here's the truth about yourselves. Y'all are the true Native Americans. I'm done.